Yeah, sorry, just hitting a few other buttons here as we go. It's been a it was a good weekend. Good weekend. What? Hope yours was too. All right, so changing a couple of options here. We're about to jump in and continue with Around the World in 80 Days. We're pretty far into it, man. And my Kindle's just taking forever to load. I'm not sure why. Let's see. What's up, call? Yeah, I always forget to reset this thing. And do it again. Weekly sub goal. Goal amount 5. Start 0. End after 6/29/2020. There we go. There we go. There we go. Just reset it just like that. Okay, there we go. Now we can continue. Now we can continue. So there we go. Wow, got a bunch of auto hosts who came rolling on through as well. Rose needs a recap. I think I'm all caught up. Have we read The Telltale Heart? Yes, we've read that a few times, Shadowtronics. We did that like even just a few weeks ago, The Telltale Heart. Surely you must have been there for that. I would think so. What are we looking up? We're looking Around the World in 80 Days. Here we go. So we're 65% of the way into it. Yeah, it's the one about the dude, like, and he's always like he's freaked out about his master's eye because he thinks it's like the evil eye or something like that, and he keeps poking his head into his room at night there with the lantern. You must know it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we can do it again at some point. Yeah. No problem. I'm just saying we've done it more than once. Alrighty. Okay. So yeah, and okay, let's do a little recap of where we are. Okay. So as all of us who managed to show up on Thursday know, they've just arrived in America. They've just arrived in San Francisco. Let's change our scenes real fast. There we go. Here's our book. Okay, all right. But for those who were not with us, we had I think the last let off where Passepartout had just been passed out in the opium den. I think that's what happened. So in the meantime, Detective Fix is sticking to them like glue. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Shadowtronics. I like that. Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Now that is the way Mondays. Yeah. That makes for an awesome Monday. An awesome Monday makes for an awesome week. And Mrs. Shadowtronics has made my week, therefore. And a week is just it's part of a month, so the whole month's going to be awesome. The month is almost over, but then you see how it snowballs. Okay. So what happened is they were separated, but not for long. Phileas Fogg, because he missed the big Carnatic. Carnatic was the big Carnatic was a big steamer going from Yokohama. It's supposed to go from Yokohama over to San Francisco, except Phileas Fogg missed it because Passepartout was unconscious underneath a table in an opium den, arranged by Detective Fix. So Phileas Fogg and Aouda, the girl they rescued from India, they miss their connection, so they hire a private boat to race to Shanghai, and because the steamer, the Carnatic, actually, before it even gets to Yokohama, it leaves from Shanghai, so they're going to intercept it before it even gets to their original destination. They travel through this big amazing storm through the Chinese Sea. They get to it right as they're pulling up and the coast is in sight. The steamer has already left Shanghai and has broken into the open seas. So they've missed it, but Phileas Fogg is just like, hey, turn the ship's flag upside down, half-mast, and fire off that emergency cannon. So they do that, and then they're actually able to board the steamer. They're able to board the steamer at basically after it's already left the docks. So then, like that, they have to pay a lot of money to the that private boat owner for racing across to intercept this steamer. So then the steamer then continues on to Yokohama. In the meantime, you have what's his name? The Passepartout has already arrived in Yokohama. He's penniless, can't get any help from the local consuls. He sells his fancy clothes to buy some clothes so he can look like a local and to start panhandling. Then he joins a circus, and the Circus of the Long Noses, where everyone has these big long noses attached to, like 6 feet long noses attached to their faces. And they put on a show, including the big car of the Juggernaut, which is apparently like a big... that was really weird. I actually looked that up. That's an actual real Indian festival where they haul this like big, massive pagoda on wheels through town. It's really, really bizarre. And apparently sometimes, according to like some of these old... I was watching some old black and white newsreel footages of these as well. Sometimes people apparently threw themselves under the wheels of the Juggernaut there, like as some kind of religious experience, which, yeah, it probably didn't end well for them. Coincidentally, Phileas Fogg and Aouda happen to be in the audience, and Passepartout sees them, and he gets so excited he leaps out from the big toppling balancing act that they're doing, and everything crashes down, ruins her performance. But they are reunited. The circus owner is very, very angry, and wow! Good morning, Lady Death. Now if that didn't wake you up, I don't know what would. Good morning, Lady Death. It's good to see you. There we go. These mornings are something else. Okay, let's let us. What are we doing? Oh yeah, so recapping. So now they're all reunited, and they so now everyone, including Detective Fix, by the way, are all on the same steamer headed off to America. They travel. Detective Fix is hiding from the others. They don't know he's on board. He's particularly afraid of Passepartout because he thinks Passepartout is going to blow his cover. Passepartout has decided not to tell what's his face? Not to tell Phileas Fogg about Detective Fix's treachery and that he's actually hunting him like as a bank robber suspect. The bad judgment everywhere. You don't hide these kinds of things. So Passepartout's being an idiot again, and that's where we are. They've just arrived at San Francisco. San Francisco's coming to view. There we go. And you'll have to read the rest of it there, Rose Morales. You'll have to read the rest of it. And don't forget, it is in the public domain. You can get a free copy. You get a free digital download from any respectable online archive. Indeed, you can. Although a nice big book in the hand is kind of nice too. And level one, first gift sub of the week. There we go. Oh, you got that counter off to a good start already. Nice. Your team was trash in Rainbow Six. They kept killing each other. Do you play with like with regulars there, or are you always teaming up with randos? Because I know, like in a game like that, teaming up with randos, yeah, it doesn't seem to work so well. Don't know. Okay, so we're all up to speed with where we are, right? I think we can just jump on in with our book, see where we're headed with that. There was a bunch of randos. Alrighty, yeah, that's it's always a little sketchy, a little difficult, Alrighty, where are we at? Okay. Are we good to go? Maybe, I think we're good to go. Oh, just refreshing a page right here. Wow, that's not working well. Ah, alrighty. Let's get on with it. At least you're a sweat. Apparently you are. And you got to tell you what, I mean, in spite of, like, I mean, you seem to get teamed up with really, really terrible people all the time. At the same time, you seem to enjoy all that chaos. I think you do like it, which is the reason you keep going back for it, because otherwise you wouldn't. But you also you'd have to be yeah, pretty decent at the game to eke out some wins anyway. With that kind of thing going on. Let's do it. I'm always on time. Oh, I believe he's... Oh, you're talking about Phileas Fogg. I believe Mr. Fogg had neither gained nor lost a single day. They did, at one point, they had a 4-day... I think it was a 4-day advantage. But with all this other chaos and stuff going on and people being lost... Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so Detective Fix is totally being honest with Passepartout, telling him he's on the trail and that he's going to arrest him as soon as he gets back to England. Oh, and he has the warrant. The warrant finally arrived. Oh, except that happened back in where was that? In India. Yeah, they happened right as they were leaving India, and they got arrested, but Phileas Fogg just, like, paid bail, and then they skipped bail. Alrighty. Yeah, now he's exactly on time. And you're playing with one hand as well? I don't know. I don't know about that, level 1. I don't know about that. Okay. Chapter 25, in which a slight glimpse is had of San Francisco. Now, let's go back. 11 days later, on the 3rd of December, the General Grant entered the Bay of the Golden Gate, had reached San Francisco. Mr. Fogg had neither gained nor lost a single day. Yeah, so their 4-day advantage has been eaten up. I just need to change a filter setting here. Let's see. Got to lower my threshold. You got a cigarette in one hand and a controller in the other. You need to quit smoking too, and that shit'll kill you. Excuse my French. Chapter 25, in which a slight glimpse is had of San Francisco. It was 7 in the morning when Mr. Fogg, Aouda, and Passepartout set foot upon the American continent, if this name can be given to the floating quay upon which they disembarked. These quays, rising and falling with the tide, thus facilitate the loading and unloading of vessels. Alongside them were clippers of all sizes, steamers of all nationalities, and the steamboats, with several decks rising one above the other, which ply on the Sacramento and its tributaries. There were also heaped up the products of a commerce which extends to Mexico, Chile, Peru, Brazil, Europe, Asia, and all the Pacific Islands. Passepartout, in his joy on reaching at last the American continent, thought he would manifest it by executing a perilous vault in fine style, but tumbling upon some worm-eaten planks he fell through them. Put out of countenance by the manner in which he thus set foot upon the new world, he uttered a loud cry, which so frightened the innumerable cormorants and pelicans that are always perched upon those movable quays, that they flew noisily away. You got to take care of some bills? Yeah, I was doing that yesterday. Big day yesterday. All right. You have a great day, level 1. Have a great day. Thank you for that gift sub. Thank you for that message earlier. Mate, have a great Monday. Stay out of trouble. Don't go looking for fights. Alrighty. Yeah, your day will be so much better if you're not stressed out about stuff. Mr. Fogg, on reaching shore, proceeded to find out at what hour the first train left for New York, and learned that this was at 6:00 p.m. He had therefore an entire day to spend in the Californian capital. San Francisco was the capital of, okay. Actually, let's look that up. Wiki San Francisco capital. When was that? It was, history. Just looking that up real fast. Control F, capital. It was a financial capital. Huh. How long has Sacramento been in there? Has it always been? Before the arrival. Okay. The American period. It's the oldest incorporated city. We'll get back to this in just a minute. I just didn't know that. Okay, the San Jose would be the new state's capital. They met in San Jose till 1851. Vallejo in 1852 and Benicia in 1853 before moving to Sacramento. So, hang on a second. Now, hang on. Maybe it's so close to, we're just gonna zoom in. Why did he? Okay, so it was. I mean, it's close, kind of. I don't know. You know, I'm actually a little confused by that. Maybe. Okay, reaching the shore. I mean, yeah. From 18. Right. They said this book is set in like 1872. So it's Sacramento. I don't know. Maybe they're just saying it's close enough. I don't know. All right. Mr. Fogg, on reaching shore, proceeded to find out at what hour the first train left for New York, and learned that this was 6:00 p.m. He had therefore an entire day to spend in the Californian capital. Taking a carriage at a charge of $3, he and Aouda entered it, while Passepartout mounted the box beside the driver, and they set out for the International Hotel. And this is actually that's really gonna bother me all the rest of the night. Why are they calling it the Californian capital when it's not? From his exalted position, Passepartout observed with much curiosity the wide streets, the low, evenly ranged houses, the Anglo-Saxon Gothic churches, the great docks, the palatial wooden and brick warehouses, the numerous conveyances, omnibuses, horse cars, and upon the sidewalks not only Americans and Europeans, but Chinese and Indians. Passepartout was surprised at all he saw. San Francisco was no longer the legendary city of 1849, a city of banditti, assassins, and incendiaries who had flocked hither in crowds in pursuit of plunder. A paradise of outlaws, where they gambled with gold dust, a revolver in one hand and a bowie knife in the other. It was now a great commercial emporium. Good morning, Silent. Yeah, I sleep all the time, Silent Runnings. I'm asleep right now. The lofty tower of its city hall overlooked the whole panorama of the streets and avenues, which cut each other at right angles, and in the midst of which appeared pleasant, verdant squares, while beyond appeared the Chinese Quarter, seemingly imported from the Celestial Empire in a toy box. Sombreros and red shirts and plumed Indians were rarely to be seen, but there were silk hats and black coats everywhere, worn by a multitude of nervously active, gentlemanly-looking men. Some of the streets, especially Montgomery Street, which is to San Francisco what Regent Street is to London, the Boulevard des Italiens to Paris, and Broadway to New York, were lined with splendid and spacious stores which exposed in their windows the products of the entire world. When Passepartout reached the International Hotel, it did not seem to him as if he had left England at all. The ground floor of the hotel was occupied by a large bar, a sort of restaurant freely open to all passers-by who might partake of dried beef, oyster soup, biscuits, and cheese without taking out their purses. Payment was made only for the ale, porter, or sherry which was drunk. This seemed very American to Passepartout. The hotel refreshment rooms were comfortable, and Mr. Fogg and Aouda, installing themselves at a table, were abundantly served on diminutive plates by Africans of darkest hue. After breakfast, Mr. Fogg, accompanied by Aouda, started for the English consulate to have his passport visaed. As he was going out, he met Passepartout, who asked him if it would not be well, before taking the train, to purchase some dozens of Enfield rifles and Colt's revolvers. He had been listening to stories of attacks upon the trains by the Sioux and Pawnees. Mr. Fogg thought it a useless precaution, but told him to do as he thought best, and went on to the consulate. He had not proceeded 200 steps, however, when, by the greatest chance in the world, he met Fix. The detective seemed wholly taken by surprise. What? Had Mr. Fogg and himself crossed the Pacific together, and not met on the steamer? At least Fix felt honored to behold once more the gentleman to whom he owed so much, and as his business recalled him to Europe, he should be delighted to continue the journey in such pleasant company. Now, don't forget, Passepartout knows everything about Detective Fix now, and has chosen not to tell his master, Phileas Fogg. You've got your steak ready. Oh, you're having dinner time? Is it dinner time right now? Nice. Oh, no, you got your steak ready for the vampire killing. All right, okay. Good Lord, okay. Okay, it's all making... I don't know what's going on. Mr. Fogg replied that the honor would be his. And the detective, who was determined not to lose sight of him, begged permission to accompany them in their walk about San Francisco, a request which Mr. Fogg readily granted. Good morning, Mr. Quinn. They soon found themselves in Montgomery Street, where a great crowd was collected. The sidewalks, streets, horse-car rails, the shop doors, the windows of the houses, and even the roofs were full of people. Men were going about carrying large posters and flags, and streamers were floating in the wind, while loud cries were heard on every hand. Hurrah for Camerfield! Hurrah for Mandelboy! It was a political meeting, at least so Fix conjectured, who said to Mr. Fogg, Perhaps we'd better not mingle with the crowd. There may be danger in it. Yes, returned Mr. Fogg, and blows, even if they are political, are still... And blows, even if they are political, are still blows. That's a weird sentence. Fix smiled at this remark, and in order to be able to see without being jostled about, the party took up a position on the top of a flight of steps situated on the upper end of Montgomery Street. Opposite them, on the other side of the street, between a coal wharf and a petroleum warehouse, a large platform had been erected in the open air, towards which the current of the crowd seemed to be directed. For what purpose was this meeting? What was the occasion of this excited assemblage? Phileas Fogg could not imagine. Was it to nominate some high official, a governor or member of Congress? It was not improbable, so agitated was the multitude before them. Just at this moment there was an unusual stir in the human mass. All the hands were raised in the air. Some tightly closed seemed to disappear suddenly in the midst of the cries, an energetic way, no doubt, of casting a vote. The crowd swayed back, the banners and flags wavered, disappeared an instant, then reappeared in tatters. The undulations of the human surge reached the steps, while all the heads floundered on the surface like a sea agitated by a squall. Many of the black hats disappeared, and the greater part of the crowd seemed to have diminished in height. "It's evidently a meeting," said Fix, "and its object must be an exciting one. I should not wonder if it were about the Alabama, despite the fact that that question is settled." "Perhaps," replied Mr. Fogg simply. "At least there are two champions in presence of each other, the Honorable Mr. Camerfield and the Honorable Mr. Manderboy." Aouda, leaning upon Mr. Fogg's arm, observed the tumultuous scene with surprise, while Fix asked a man near him what the cause of it was. Before the man could reply, a fresh agitation arose. Hurrahs and excited shouts were heard. The staffs of the banners began to be used as offensive weapons, and fists flew about in every direction. Thumps were exchanged from the tops of the carriages and omnibuses which had been blocked up in the crowd. Boots and shoes went whirling through the air, and Mr. Fogg thought he even heard the crack of revolvers mingling in the din. The rout approached the stairway and flowed over the lower step. One of the parties had evidently been repulsed, but the mere lookers-on could not tell whether Manderboy or Camerfield had gained the upper hand. "It would be prudent for us to retire," said Fix, who was anxious that Mr. Fogg should not receive any injury, at least until they got back to London. "If there's any question about England in all this, and we were recognized, I fear it would go hard with us." "An English subject," began Mr. Fogg. He did not finish his sentence, for a terrific hubbub now arose on the terrace behind the flight of steps on which they stood, and there were frantic shouts of "Hurrah for Manderboy! Hip, hip, hurrah!" It was a band of voters coming to the rescue of their allies, and taking the Camerfield forces in flank. Mr. Fogg, Aouda, and Fix found themselves between two fires. It was too late to escape. The torrent of men, armed with loaded canes and sticks, was irresistible. Phileas Fogg and Fix were roughly hustled in their attempts to protect their fair companion. The former, as cool as ever, tried to defend himself with the weapons which nature has placed at the end of every Englishman's arm, but in vain. A big brawny fellow with a red beard, flushed face, and broad shoulders, who seemed to be the chief of the band, raised his clenched fist to strike Mr. Fogg, whom he would have given a crushing blow, had not Fix rushed in and received it in his stead. An enormous bruise immediately made its appearance under the detective's silk hat, which was completely smashed in. "Yankee!" exclaimed Mr. Fogg, darting a contemptuous look at the ruffian. "Englishman," returned the other, "we will meet again." "When you please. What is your name?" "Phileas Fogg. And yours?" "Colonel Stamp Proctor." The human tide now swept by, after overturning Fix, who speedily got up on his feet again, though with tattered clothes. Happily, he was not seriously hurt. His traveling overcoat was divided into 2 unequal parts, and his trousers resembled those of certain Indians, which fit less compactly than they are easy to put on. Aouda had escaped unharmed, and Fix alone bore the marks of the fray in his black and blue bruise. "Thanks," said Mr. Fogg to the detective as soon as they were out of the crowd. "No thanks are necessary," replied Fix. "But let us go." "Where?" "To a tailor's." Such a visit was, indeed, opportune. The clothing of both Mr. Fogg and Fix was in rags, as if they had themselves been actively engaged in the contest between Camerfield and Manderboy. An hour after, they were once more suitably attired, and with Aouda returned to the International Hotel. Passepartout was waiting for his master, armed with 6 six-barreled revolvers. When he perceived Fix, he knit his brows, but Aouda, having in a few words told him of their adventure, his countenance resumed its placid expression. Fix evidently was no longer an enemy, but an ally. He was faithfully keeping his word. Still think the dude's a snake. Dinner over, the coach, which was to convey the passengers and their luggage to the station, drew up to the door. As he was getting in, Mr. Fogg said to Fix, "You have not seen this Colonel Proctor again?" "No." "I will come back to America to find him," said Phileas Fogg calmly. "It would not be right for an Englishman to permit himself to be treated in that way without retaliating." The detective smiled, but did not reply. It was clear that Mr. Fogg was one of those Englishmen who, while they do not tolerate dueling at home, fight abroad when their honor is attacked. At 6:15, the travelers reached the station and found the train ready to depart. As he was about to enter it, Mr. Fogg called a porter and said to him, "My friend, was there not some trouble today in San Francisco?" "Oh, it was a political meeting, sir," replied the porter. "But I thought there was a great deal of disturbance in the streets." "Oh, it was only a meeting assembled for an election." "Oh, the election of a general-in-chief, no doubt?" asked Mr. Fogg. "No, sir. A justice of the peace." Phileas Fogg got into the train, which started off at full speed. So you got the big fights and riots breaking out between 2 political parties wanting their own justice of the peace installed. It's kind of funny. He's Jules Verne, like in all his stuff, he's got like a real. It's almost cynical, very satirical though. But yeah, almost cynical view of Americans there. Even in his From the Earth to the Moon, it's such a great book. It's the Americans and their guns. I mean, even like the Moonshot Project. I mean, it's done by they're all veterans of the American Civil War. In the Cannon Club. Was it it wasn't a Cannon Club. It was like the artillery. Yeah. The Baltimore Gun Club, yeah. But cannons were their specialty and everything. But just the way the Americans like go on talking about things. It's like half of them have like lost their legs or arms, and some have eye patches, and a dude with a metal plate in his skull. But yeah, they all love their guns and explosives. Oh boy, there's nothing more they like more than that. It's just really bizarre. And here in this one here, you got Passepartout. He's just like, well, we're in America now. We're gonna need a few dozen rifles and pistols and here on like even this bit with this big riot going on, the big riot which they just get caught up in it. It's all just it's like an everyday occurrence. And you have like that big twist at the end. Is this like, yeah, we got to fight like this. This is how we determine our justice of the peace. Anyway, it's just a very common theme that's popped up in so many of the Jules Verne books. Oh boy. You kind of have it. I mean, it's it's just kind of funny. It's kind of funny. So you'd think if it was in one book, it would be like, you know, poking fun of it. If it's when it's in multiple books, you have this. I don't know. I think Jules Verne's got some pretty fixed ideas about America. Yeah. Man, oh man. Okay. What? Rose Morales. 500 embers. Why, thank you. That's a nice little animated sticker, too. I like that one. Those are the Mixerbots. They like each other. Yes, they do. Americans, what? They look at government. They love government. Their mom. Oh, they look at government like their mom. Okay, not quite sure. Okay, not quite sure what that means. There, silent running. Jules Verne's met the orange one. Yeah, that would. I mean, yeah, that's. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, so what this was? It was 1872. I'm pretty sure this book was set in 1872. It's almost always America after the Civil War. Yeah. Oh, no, they love government and them. They love government and their mom. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah, yeah. They're very opinionated on it. Yes, they are. Alrighty. Okay, let's get on with it. Actually, one more big sip of the old coffee. We'll get into here. Okay. We're gonna see what others. You know, there's gonna be some more stereotypes coming up. I just know it. Actually, you know what? You know what I did not do? I need to just move away from this page for a minute. You know what? I didn't look up some stuff. You haven't gone into his research. That okay. So that ain't there. Thank goodness. All right. You never want to be surprised. You never want to be surprised, but sometimes you are. Yeah, there we go. Let's move that back. Okay. But yeah, I do seem to recall there are some things. Oh, I am scruffy today, Rose. I am. Maybe not as scruffy as you like it, but I'm definitely some coarse sandpaper right now. Alrighty. Let's do it. Chapter 26, in which Phileas Fogg and party travel by the Pacific Railroad. From ocean to ocean, so say the Americans, and these four words compose the general designation of the Great Trunk Line, which crosses the entire width of the United States. The Pacific Railroad is, however, really divided into two distinct lines. The Central Pacific between San Francisco and Ogden, and the Union Pacific between Ogden and Omaha. 5 main lines connect Omaha with New York. New York and San Francisco are thus united by an uninterrupted metal ribbon, which measures no less than 3,786 miles. Between Omaha and the Pacific, the railway crosses a territory which is still infested. Infested by Indians and wild beasts. That's a very poor choice of words there. Indians and wild beasts in a large tract which the Mormons, after they were driven from Illinois in 1845, began to colonize. The journey from New York to San Francisco consumed, formerly, under the most favorable conditions, at least 6 months. It is now accomplished in 7 days. It was in 1862 that, in spite of the Southern members of Congress who wished a more southerly route, it was decided to lay the road between the 41st and 42nd parallels. President Lincoln himself fixed the end of the line at Omaha, in Nebraska. The work was at once commenced and pursued with true American energy, nor did the rapidity with which it went on injuriously affect its good execution. The road grew on the prairies 1.5 miles a day. A locomotive running on the rails laid down the evening before brought the rails to be laid on the morrow, and advanced upon them as fast as they were put in position. The Pacific Railroad is joined by several branches in Iowa, Kansas, Colorado, and Oregon. On leaving Omaha, it passes along the left bank of the Platte River as far as the junction of its northern branch, follows its southern branch, crosses the Laramie Territory and the Wasatch Mountains, turns the Great Salt Lake, and reaches Salt Lake City, the Mormon capital, plunges into the Tooele Valley, across the American Desert, Cedar and Humboldt Mountains, the Sierra Nevada, and descends via Sacramento to the Pacific. Its grade, even on the Rocky Mountains, never exceeding 112 feet to the mile. Such was the road to be traversed in 7 days, which would enable Phileas Fogg, at least, so he hoped, to take the Atlantic steamer at New York on the 11th for Liverpool. The car which he occupied was a sort of long omnibus on 8 wheels, and with no compartments in the interior. It was supplied with 2 rows of seats, perpendicular to the direction of the train on either side of an aisle, which conducted to the front and rear platforms. These platforms were found throughout the train, and the passengers were able to pass from one end of the train to the other. It was supplied with saloon cars, balcony cars, restaurants and smoking cars. Theater cars alone were wanting, and they will have these someday. Theater cars. Nice. Good morning, Calanero. Good morning. Books and news dealers, sellers of edibles, drinkables, and cigars, who seemed to have plenty of customers, were continually circulating in the aisles. The train left Oakland Station at 6 o'clock. It was already night, cold and cheerless, the heavens being overcast with clouds which seemed to threaten snow. The train did not proceed rapidly. Counting the stoppages, it did not run more than 20 miles an hour, which was a sufficient speed, however, to enable it to reach Omaha within its designated time. There was but little conversation in the car, and soon many of the passengers were overcome with sleep. Passepartout found himself beside the detective, but he did not talk to him. After recent events, their relations with each other had grown somewhat cold. There could no longer be mutual sympathy or intimacy between them. Fix's manner had not changed, but Passepartout was very reserved and ready to strangle his former friend on the slightest provocation. Snow began to fall an hour after they started, a fine snow, however, which happily could not obstruct the train. Nothing could be seen from the windows but a vast white sheet, against which the smoke of the locomotive had a grayish aspect. At 8 o'clock, a steward entered the car and announced that the time for going to bed had arrived, and in a few minutes the car was transformed into a dormitory. The backs of the seats were thrown back, bedsteads carefully packed were rolled out by an ingenious system, berths were suddenly improvised, and each traveler had soon at his disposition a comfortable bed, protected from curious eyes by thick curtains. The sheets were clean and the pillows soft. It only remained to go to bed and sleep, which everybody did, while the train sped on across the state of California. You want Carrington's voice for Alexa and devices. I was actually thinking about that, Dark Side. I know you can make custom packs for that. I don't know how to go about doing that. But, yeah, that would be kind of interesting. That would be very fun. Or even like a map pack. Excuse me. Except if I did like one of those map navigation packs, probably the most, it'd probably be like, you going too fast? Slow down. And fall asleep while driving. Good Lord. The country between San Francisco and Sacramento is not very hilly. Hey, good morning, Darkside. The country between San Francisco and Sacramento is not very hilly. The Central Pacific, taking Sacramento for its starting point, extends eastward to meet the road from Omaha. The line from San Francisco to Sacramento runs in a northeasterly direction along the American River, which empties into San Pablo Bay. The 120 miles between these cities were accomplished in 6 hours, and towards midnight, And towards midnight, while fast asleep, the travelers passed through Sacramento, so that they saw nothing of that important place, the seat of the state government, with its fine quays, its broad streets, its noble hotels, squares, and churches. You know, okay, so they've just recognized here Sacramento as the seat of the state government. Okay, so which brings us back to that bit where they were talking about San Francisco as being the capital city. Maybe I'm thinking now. Maybe they didn't mean like capital as in the capital, but more like capital as like great or important. That's probably what it is. Okay, all right. That would make a lot more sense. That would make a lot more sense. Just a bad. It's just not a good place. It's just not a good word to have used actually for that city. Yeah, it is. It is the morning dark side. It's 5 to 11 in the morning right here, right now. Why are you even awake? I don't know. There are a lot of people tuning into streams on Mixer who definitely don't have the best sleep cycles, that's for sure. I should be like Skyrim Grandma. I don't know who Skyrim Grandma is. I know what Skyrim is. Silent Runnings is older than I am? Alright. I'll take that. Alrighty. Okay, let's get on with it. The train, on leaving Sacramento and passing the junction, Rocklin, Auburn, and Colfax, entered the range of the Sierra Nevada. Cisco was reached at 7 in the morning, and an hour later the dormitory was transformed into an ordinary car, and the travelers could observe the picturesque beauties of the mountain region through which they were steaming. The railway track wound in and out among the passes, now approaching the mountain sides, now suspended over precipices, avoiding abrupt angles by bold curves, plunging into narrow defiles which seemed to have no outlet. The locomotive, its great funnel emitting a weird light, with its sharp bell and its cowcatcher extended like a spur, mingled its shrieks and bellowings with the noise of torrents and cascades, and twined its smoke among the branches of the gigantic pines. There were few or no bridges or tunnels on the route. The railway turned around the sides of the mountains and did not attempt to violate nature by taking the shortest cut from one point to another. The train entered the state of Nevada through the Carson Valley about 9 o'clock, going always northeasterly, and at midday reached Reno, where there was a delay of 20 minutes for breakfast. From this point, the road, running along Humboldt River, passed northward for several miles by its banks. Then it turned eastward and kept by the river until it reached the Humboldt Range, nearly at the extreme eastern limit of Nevada. Having breakfasted, Mr. Fogg and his companions resumed their places in the car and observed the varied landscapes which unfolded itself as they passed along the vast prairies, the mountains lining the horizon, and the creeks with their frothy, foaming streams. Sometimes a great herd of buffaloes, massing together in the distance, seemed like a movable dam. These innumerable multitudes of ruminating beasts often form an insurmountable obstacle to the passage of the trains. Thousands of them have been seen passing over the track for hours together, in compact ranks. The locomotive is then forced to stop and wait till the road is once more clear. This happened, indeed, to the train in which Mr. Fogg was traveling. About 12 o'clock, a troop of 10 or 12,000 head of buffalo encumbered the track. The locomotive, slackening its speed, tried to clear the way with its cowcatcher, but the mass of animals was too great. The buffaloes marched along with a tranquil gait, uttering now and then deafening bellows. There was no use of interrupting them, for having taken a particular direction, nothing can moderate and change their course. It is a torrent of living flesh which no dam could contain. The travelers gazed on this curious spectacle from the platforms, but Phileas Fogg, who had the most reason of all to be in a hurry, remained in his seat and waited philosophically until it should please the buffaloes to get out of the way. Passepartout was furious at the delay they occasioned, and longed to discharge his arsenal of revolvers upon them. "What a country!" cried he. "Mere cattle stop the trains and go by in a procession, just as if they were not impeding travel. Parbleu, I should like to know if Mr. Fogg foresaw this mishap in his programme. And here's an engineer who doesn't dare to run the locomotive into this herd of beasts." The engineer did not try to overcome the obstacle, and he was wise. He would have crushed the first buffaloes, no doubt, with the cowcatcher, but the locomotive, however powerful, would soon have been checked. The train would inevitably have been thrown off the track, and would then have been helpless. The best course was to wait patiently and regain the lost time by greater speed when the obstacle was removed. The procession of buffaloes lasted 3 full hours, and it was night before the track was clear. The last ranks of the herd were now passing over the rails, while the first had already disappeared below the southern horizon. It was 8 o'clock when the train passed through the defiles of the Humboldt Range, and 9:30 when it penetrated Utah, the region of the Great Salt Lake, the singular colony of the Mormons. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Okay. In between chapters, let's catch up with Jat. What did we miss? You need to hear me read Star Wars. Well, if I was not concerned about getting to read a letter from Star Wars attorneys, I would. Ha ha! Alrighty. Good morning, Unaided Castle. Good morning. How you doing? What's up? Yeah, no, everything I read, Darkside, is in the public domain. The attorneys I have access to are not as good as the entirety of the entertainment industries. All right. You can buy ebooks and gift them to whomever you want. Yeah, well, that's nice. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, but there's a bit of a difference between getting ebooks and doing public performances of things in a kind of a commercial setting. It's very good. Catching up. I would be more fun to watch than what? They're talking about Skyrim Grandma. Oh, is she the Yeah, you know what? I think I do know who that is. I was reading something about her. She was wasn't she being I think I read her about like being the oldest. I think she was like the oldest video game player or something like that. She's like 90 odd. Is that the one? I think I read something about her like some like online articles about 2 weeks ago, and then right after that happened, she like her streams were just like invaded by like some of the worst trolls ever, which is very unfortunate. Let's see. We got Toggle Switch made it in. Good morning, Toggle Switch. Good morning. Good morning. Darkside's grandparents were the baby boomer gen. Okay, all right. Very okay. All right, let me scroll down. Do I play games? Indeed, I do. Indeed, I do. Actually, tonight will be a bit of Phantasy Star and some Halo. Probably Halo 5, because I'm good at Halo 5. I know how to wreck a few fools. Oh yeah. But yeah. No, I'm not. Horrid Henry. I don't know what Horrid Henry is. Don't know. Here's the thing. I do special requests there, Unaided Castle, but they all have to be in the public domain, and those are generally done on Sundays, like short story form. Good morning, Halo Collector. What's going on? Halo Collector's here. I should read Board of the Rings. I don't know what that is. That sounds like some kind of parody article, or thing. Oh yeah, I kind of figured Horrid Henry might be a book, Unaided Castle. I was able to glean that little bit of information from the little information provided. Alrighty, that's right. King, I am the king. Yeah, the king of book reading on Mixer. That's right. Okay, we're going to get into our next chapter in just a minute. What is it? It's 11 o'clock. It's 11 in the morning. There we go. Darkside plays Halo? Nice. Yeah. Yeah, Halo's a great shooter. A great shooter. A lot of fun. Let's see where we at. This is... Man. Okay, Halo's, oh, no, Darkside's an old school Halo player, no! Halo 2 and Halo 3 is where it's at? Oh, man. I know, when they used to have the Halo 2, well, I mean, they're all shut down right now, but at the Microsoft stores, they used to have the monthly Halo tournaments. And when they did the Halo 3 ones, every man and their dog showed up. It was and they were all that's all they'd been playing for like the last 15 years or so, 10, 15 years. Halo 3, that's it. They knew those maps backwards, and they would. It was just no fun playing. No fun playing against them. There were some of them were so competitive, showing up for these little friendly get together matches. That they had mastered the art of being able to force other players to spawn, this is when they've killed them, to force them to spawn at particular points on which the other player had an overwatch on it, so they could just spawn kill you over and over. Yeah. I mean, the maps were fun, but yeah, I don't know. It was just not good playing against the people that would show up for the Halo 3 stuff. Grand Theft Auto, no. That's way too much. Way too much trouble with randos and that. Way too much. Even your own teammates on that one there. It's like yeah. You spend it was too much chaos. Halo is love, says Halo Collector. It was funny when they removed the Destiny references in the updated version of Halo Reach. I didn't even know Destiny references were in Halo Reach, the original one. You still play Halo, just mostly the campaign? Yeah, it's that reminds me, I need to get back on my project of doing the legendary co-ops. I've just finished Halo 1 legendary co-op playthrough. All right, where we at? Yeah, so no, I tried Grand Theft Auto for like a week. Everyone was playing it, and everyone seemed to be having a great time. But yeah, it was just, it was awful. So I ended up trying out a whole bunch of other MMOs, because that's kind of like what I was more looking for. And discovered Phantasy Star. I would play a lot of Phantasy Star. And a little bit of Neverwinter. I had fun with that. Everyone's leveling much faster than I am. I just log in and do my thing in that. Everyone else is racing to the end in that one, though. It was Silent Runnings had a few hours on Halo 5 earlier. You're ready for Infinite. Yeah, I'm just ready for Infinite news. That's all I want. I mean, and hopefully it's not going to be just like more toy news. I mean that's interesting and stuff like that. You know, but just actual game stuff, game related stuff. Like, is there like a story? Like, will there be like a new podcast coming? Like Hunt the Truth. That was pretty tight. Will there, you know, and can we see some like game more, even just like concept art? I mean, they're so tight-lipped about everything right now. It's crazy. Yeah. Oh, I want to know more. Oh, by the way, Halo Collector, that picture that you posted, it was leaked from Mexico, I guess, of those like real bright Jolly Rancher looking figures. That was your one, right? I think you posted that on Twitter. The Destiny logo was in the original version of Reach? Oh, okay. Well, Halo Collector's all about the toy now. Yeah, okay. Oh, that was a joke? Oh, okay. Okay. I thought so. Those pics were not legit then. Anyway, I was going to say, like, it kind of reminded me of a series of toys back in the 70s. I don't know if they're still around, but it was called Micronauts. And it was just really cool, like fun sci-fi. But the Micronauts actual figures, they were probably, I don't know, maybe 4 inches tall, something like that, maybe 3 inches tall. But they were made of like this clear plastic done in all these like vibrant neon colors, and that's what came to mind when I was looking at those. GTA is too violent for me, right? No, it's nothing to do with being too violent. It's just the people who play it, at least the ones I encountered, just tended to be a bunch of jerks. So yeah, well, why would I want to play it? So yeah. Oh, you actually have some Micronauts. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Oh, you sent me a link to an online copy of Lord of the Rings. Okay, I'll check it out. I probably won't be able to read it on stream because I would suspect it's not in the public domain. But you never know. Micronauts have a lot of parts. Do they still make them? Halo Collector, is Micronauts still a thing? Yes, that's right. Calinero and I are on the same page. There we go. Mr. Quinn says GTA always has had PvP toxicity. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, but it's like everything in the game is. No, it was almost like online was like a bolted on kind of afterthought. Okay. They still make it over in Japan. Oh yeah, I loved it. It was, oh boy, it was such a great toy series. Okay, Calinero's just gonna chill the night away. Sounds great, Calinero. Okay, but we need to get on with our book because that's what we're doing here. Let's see. Oh, let's restore that 1 second. So Catbot's pretty active around here. Micronauts are tied to Transformers? Really? I didn't know. I don't recall that. All right. Okay. The all games ever are based on violence, even Mario. Yeah, you could make an argument for that. Yeah. All right, let me restore that. Okay, Catbot is, yeah, okay. Just in case anyone's like, hey, where my messages go, my Catbot's on super high. So, yeah. When I can restore the stuff that needs to be restored, I can. But I'm about to ignore it because we're going into chapter 27, in which Passepartout undergoes, at a speed of 20 miles an hour, a course of Mormon history. During the night of the 5th of December, the train ran southeasterly for about 50 miles, then rose an equal distance in a northeasterly direction, towards the Great Salt Lake. Passepartout, about 9 o'clock, went out upon the platform to take the air. The weather was cold, the heavens gray, but it was not snowing. The sun's disk, enlarged by the mist, seemed an enormous ring of gold, and Passepartout was amusing himself by calculating its value in pounds sterling, when he was diverted from this interesting study by a strange-looking personage who made his appearance on the platform. This personage, who had taken the train at Elko, was tall and dark, with black moustache, black stockings, a black silk hat, a black waistcoat, black trousers, a white cravat, and dogskin gloves. Dogskin? All right. He might have been taken for a clergyman. He went from one end of the train to the other and affixed to the door of each car a notice written in manuscript. Passepartout approached and read one of these notices, which stated that Elder William Hitch, Mormon missionary, taking advantage of his presence on train number 48, would deliver a lecture on Mormonism in car number 117 from 11 to 12 o'clock, and that he invited all who were desirous of being instructed concerning the mysteries of the religion of the Latter-day Saints to attend. "I'll go," said Passepartout to himself. He knew nothing of Mormonism except the custom of polygamy, which is its foundation. The news quickly spread through the train, which contained about 100 passengers, 30 of whom, at most, attracted by the notice, ensconced themselves in car number 117. Passepartout took one of the front seats. Neither Mr. Fogg nor Fix cared to attend. At the appointed hour, Elder William Hitch rose, and in an irritated voice, as if he had been contradicted, said, "I tell you that Joe Smith is a martyr, that his brother Hiram is a martyr, and that the persecutions of the United States government against the prophets will also make a martyr of Brigham Young. Who dares to say the contrary?" No one ventured to gainsay the missionary, whose excited tone contrasted curiously with his naturally calm visage. No doubt his anger arose from the hardships to which the Mormons were actually subjected. The government had just succeeded, with some difficulty, in reducing these independent fanatics to its rule. It had made itself master of Utah and subjected that territory to the laws of the Union, after imprisoning Brigham Young on a charge of rebellion and polygamy. The disciples of the prophet had since redoubled their efforts and resisted, by words at least, the authority of Congress. Elder Hitch, as it is seen, was trying to make proselytes on the very railway trains. Then, emphasizing his words with his loud voice and frequent gestures, he related the history of the Mormons from biblical times. How that in Israel a Mormon prophet of the tribe of Joseph published the annals of the new religion, and bequeathed them to his son Mormon. How, many centuries later, a translation of this precious book, which was written in Egyptian, was made by Joseph Smith, Jr., a Vermont farmer who revealed himself as a mystical prophet in 1825. And how, in short, the celestial messenger appeared to him in an illuminated forest, and gave him the annals of the Lord. Several of the audience, not being much interested in the missionary's narrative, here left the car, but Elder Hitch, continuing his lecture, related how Smith, Jr., with his father, 2 brothers, and a few disciples, founded the Church of the Latter-day Saints, which adopted not only in America, but in England, Norway, and Sweden, and Germany, counts many artisans, as well as men engaged in the liberal professions, among its members. How a colony was established in Ohio, a temple erected there at a cost of $200,000, and a town built at Kirkland. How Smith became an enterprising banker and received from a simple mummy showman a papyrus scroll written by Abraham and several famous Egyptians. The elder's story became somewhat wearisome, and his audience grew gradually less, until it was reduced to 20 passengers. But this did not disconcert the enthusiast, who proceeded with the story of Joseph Smith's bankruptcy in 1837 and how his ruined creditors gave him a coat of tar and feathers. His reappearance some years afterwards, more honorable and honored than ever, at Independence, Missouri, the chief of a flourishing colony of 3,000 disciples, and his pursuit thence by outraged Gentiles, and retirement into the far West. Good Lord. You got some weird mashups going on there. Batman, Robin, Batgirl, Batwoman, Nightwing with Power Rangers. Yeah, well, the Power Rangers have done some weird mashups. All right. 10 hearers only were now left, among them honest Passepartout, who was listening with all his ears. Thus he learned that after long persecutions, Smith reappeared in Illinois, and in 1839 founded a community at Nauvoo, on the Mississippi, numbering 25,000 souls, of which he became mayor, chief justice, and general-in-chief. That he announced himself in 1843 as a candidate for the presidency of the United States, and that finally, being drawn into an ambuscade at Carthage, he was thrown into prison and assassinated by a band of men disguised in masks. I didn't know that. Passepartout was now the only person left in the car, and the elder, looking him full in the face, reminded him that 2 years after the assassination of Joseph Smith, the inspired prophet Brigham Young, his successor, left Nauvoo for the banks of the Great Salt Lake, where in the midst of that fertile region, directly on the route of the emigrants who crossed Utah on their way to California, the new colony, thanks to the polygamy practiced by the Mormons, had flourished beyond expectations. And this, added Elder William Hitch, this is why the jealousy of Congress has been aroused against us. Why have the soldiers of the Union invaded the soil of Utah? Why has Brigham Young, our chief, been imprisoned in contempt of all justice? Shall we yield to force? Never. Driven from Vermont, driven from Illinois, driven from Ohio, driven from Missouri, driven from Utah, we shall yet find some independent territory on which to plant our tents. And you, my brother, continued the elder, fixing his angry eyes upon his single auditor, will you not plant yours there too, under the shadow of our flag? No, replied Passepartout courageously, in his turn retiring from the car, and leaving the elder to preach to vacancy. During the lecture, the train had been making good progress, and towards 12:30 it... There we go. Good morning, Mr. Jump Jump. Good morning. Good to see you again. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, no, that's the Hypebot level 1. All right. Yeah. That's Mr. Chump Chump this morning. Thank you. Thank you for re-upping a channel sub there. I think the count is all off again. Very good. I like that. The sound of Tarzan gets the blood pumping. It does. Blah, 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 blah. During the lecture, the train had been making good progress, and towards 12:30 it reached the northwest border of the Great Salt Lake. Thence the passengers could observe the vast extent of this interior sea, which is also called the Dead Sea, and into which flows an American Jordan. It is a picturesque expanse, framed in lofty crags and large strata, encrusted with white salt. A superb sheet of water, which was formerly of larger extent than now, its shores having encroached with the lapse of time, and thus at once reduced its breadth and increased its depth. The Salt Lake, 70 miles long and 35 wide, is situated 3 miles, 800 feet above the sea. Quite different from Lake Asphaltite, whose depression is 1,200 feet below the sea, it contains considerable salt, and 1/4 of the weight of its water is solid matter, its specific weight being 1,170, and after being distilled, 1,000. Fishes are, of course, unable to live in it, and those which descend through the Jordan, the Weber, and other streams soon perish. "You're always around," says Mr. Chomp Chomp. "Usually here every night, but sometimes just asleep." There we go. Mr. Chomp Chomp knows his way around lurker mode, that's for sure. Yeah. Good. Anyway, it's good to see you again, and thank you again for a monthly channel sub. The country around the lake was well cultivated, for the Mormons are mostly farmers, while ranches and pens for domesticated animals, fields of wheat, corn, and other cereals, luxuriant prairies, hedges of wild rose, clumps of acacia and milkwort would have been seen 6 months later. Now the ground was covered with a thin powdering of snow. The train reached Ogden at 2 o'clock, where it rested for 6 hours. Mr. Fogg and his party had time to pay a visit to Salt Lake City, connected with Ogden by a branch road, and they spent 2 hours in this strikingly American town, built on the pattern of other cities of the Union, like a checkerboard, with the somber sadness of right angles, as Victor Hugo expresses it. The founder of the City of the Saints could not escape from the taste of symmetry which distinguishes the Anglo-Saxons. In this strange country, where the people are certainly not up to the level of their institutions, everything is done squarely. Cities, houses, and follies. Okay, the travelers then were promenading at 3 o'clock about the streets of the town built between the banks of the Jordan and the spurs of the Wasatch Range. They saw few or no churches, but the prophet's mansion, the courthouse, and the arsenal, blue brick houses with verandas and porches, surrounded by gardens bordered with acacias, palms, and locusts. A clay and pebble wall, built in 1853, surrounded the town, and in the principal street were the market and several hotels adorned with pavilions. The place did not seem thickly populated. The streets were almost deserted, except in the vicinity of the temple, which they only reached after having traversed several quarters surrounded by palisades. There were many women, which was easily accounted for by the peculiar institution of the Mormons, but it must not be supposed that all the Mormons are polygamists. They are free to marry or not as they please, but it is worth noting that it is mainly the female citizens of Utah who are anxious to marry, as, according to the Mormon religion, maiden ladies are not admitted to the possession of its highest joys. These poor creatures seem to be neither well-off nor happy. The more well-to-do, no doubt, wore short, open black silk dresses under a hood or modest shawl. Others were habited in Indian fashion. Passepartout could not behold without a certain fright these women, charged in groups with conferring happiness on a single Mormon. His common sense pitied, above all, the husband. It seemed to him a terrible thing to have to guide so many wives at once across the vicissitudes of life, and to conduct them, as it were, in a body, to the Mormon paradise, with the prospect of seeing them in the company of the glorious Smith, who doubtless was the chief ornament of that delightful place, to all eternity. He felt decidedly repelled from such a vocation, and he imagined, perhaps he was mistaken, that the fair ones of Salt Lake City cast rather alarming glances on his person. Happily, his stay there was but brief. At 4, the party found themselves again at the station, took their places in the train, and the whistle sounded for starting. Just at the moment, however, that the locomotive wheels began to move, cries of "Stop! Stop!" were heard. Trains, like time and tide, stop for no one. The gentleman who uttered the cries was evidently a belated Mormon. He was breathless with running. Happily for him, the station had neither gates nor barriers. He rushed along the tracks, jumped on the rear platform of the train, and fell exhausted into one of the seats. Passepartout, who had been anxiously watching this amateur gymnast, approached him with lively interest and learned that he had taken flight after an unpleasant domestic scene. When the Mormon had recovered his breath, Passepartout ventured to ask him politely how many wives he had, for from the manner in which he had decamped, it might be thought that he had 20 at least. "One, sir," replied the Mormon, raising his arms heavenward. "One. And that was enough." I've forgotten that joke. All right, that was pretty good. Alrighty. There we go. So this Mormon was in agreement with Mrs. Shadowtronics. One is enough. Alrighty. Dark Side says a lot of old books have questionable content. Indeed they do. Indeed they do. And so well, let's just go. Mr. Quinn says Verne has issues with America. Well, yeah, it's actually we were talking about this earlier today. Actually, yeah, he has a very cynical view of America, and he's a lot of his books talk about America and its absolute love affair with guns, in particular. And we're probably going to have some of that coming up, but yeah, and you can take that, you know, satirically, which I think a lot of it is. He's definitely fascinated with it because he puts it in. It's been in several books, so he's definitely something that he spends a lot of time just thinking about. But obviously, like, he's just fascinated with America in general. But at least I think. But yeah, I mean, actually, just like 2 chapters ago, he was just casually talking about how the what was the term he used for? Oh yeah, talking about the American Indians who infested the plains still. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, that's just plain up. Yeah, that's not good. Not stood the test of time, that's for sure. Yeah. You have a Mormon friend and you miss him. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So the other thing is as well. It's definitely an outsider's look at America that we have going on here as well. Yeah. Oh, you can't even find them on Facebook. Oh no, there's a lot of people who are really not interested in Facebook. Yeah, I log into Facebook like once a month. Yeah, that's about it. I do the Twitter thing every day. Love the Twitter. Oh, you tuned your piano. Okay, tuned your piano. Very nice, very nice. Very good. Okay, where we at? I'm just catching up with stuff here real fast. Okay, all right. There's a link. Okay, I got a link. Yeah, I'll check that out. That must be the board of the Board of the Rings link there. I'll check it out. But yeah, it's probably not public domain. So let's see. Where are we at? Okay, I'm just sorry. I'm just refreshing a couple of pages around here. That's a weird thing, and I'm making sure I'm not missing. Man, where are these? No, I expected some kind of. Okay, never mind. Can't talk about it right now. Some kind of update. Save the file to my HDD while I still can. Why is it not supposed to be up there? Dark Side gets all your news from Facebook. Oh my lord. Then they remove trending news. Facebook gives you what they think. It's tailored to you. Anyway. I'm not going to talk about it too much. But yeah, if you like things on Facebook, it'll go out of its way to give you more of it. It's just hard to find a link to the book in general. All right. Okay. I'll check it out. We'll take a peek. We'll see what's going on. All right. Let's continue. Chapter 28. The waffle is real today? Oh, it's nice to have a bit of chat going on into which to respond to their Shadowtronics. We will get on with it. We will do it, though. That's right. Chapter 28, in which Passepartout does not succeed in making anybody listen to reason. Yeah, which is actually kind of funny, because this dude is he's full of terrible ideas. No one should listen to this dude anyway. I mean, especially after his decision to not inform his master Phileas Fogg that Detective Fix is going to arrest him when he reaches London. I think that would be kind of important for Phileas Fogg to know about. I saw that Halo Collector. Mr. Chomp Chomp just passed a flock of carrion birds eating a deer on the side of the road. Man. All right, must be that little roadkill action going on there. Mr. Chomp Chomp is barreling down the freeway right now, I imagine, across some interstate. That's right. He does not want to. Yeah, Passepartout does not want to pay that gas bill. But this is. I've forgotten how that gets resolved. Yeah, because right now he's losing a shilling a week. All right. Losing a shilling a week. Okay, because he left his pilot light on. Oh. In which Passepartout does not succeed in making anyone listen to reason. Good morning, Marty. Good morning. The train, on leaving Great Salt Lake at Ogden, passed northward for an hour as far as Weber River, having completed nearly 900 miles from San Francisco. From this point, it took an easterly direction towards the jagged Wasatch Mountains. It was in the section included between this range and the Rocky Mountains that the American engineers found the most formidable difficulties in laying the road, and that the government granted a subsidy of $48,000 per mile, instead of $16,000 allowed for work done on the plains. But the engineers, instead of violating nature, avoided its difficulties by winding around, instead of penetrating the rocks. One tunnel only, 14,000 feet in length, was pierced in order to arrive at the Great Basin. The track up to this time had reached its highest elevation at the Great Salt Lake. From this point it described a long curve, descending towards Bitter Creek Valley, to rise again to the dividing ridge of the waters between the Atlantic and the Pacific. There were many creeks in this mountainous region, and it was necessary to cross Muddy Creek, Green Creek, and others upon culverts. Passepartout grew more and more impatient as they went on, while Fix longed to get out of this difficult region, and was more anxious than Phileas Fogg himself to be beyond the danger of delays and accidents, and set foot on English soil. At 10 o'clock at night, the train stopped at Fort Bridger Station, and 20 minutes later entered Wyoming territory, following the valley of Bitter Creek throughout. The next day, 7th December, they stopped for a quarter of an hour at Green River Station. Snow had fallen abundantly during the night, but being mixed with rain, it had half melted and did not interrupt their progress. The bad weather, however, annoyed Passepartout, for the accumulation of snow, by blocking the wheels of the cars, would certainly have been fatal to Mr. Fogg's tour. "What an idea," he said to himself. "Why did my master make this journey in winter? Couldn't he have waited for the good season to increase his chances?" While the worthy Frenchman was absorbed in the state of the sky and the depression of the temperature, Aouda was experiencing fears from a totally different cause. 11 shillings when he gets back. Yeah, 11 shillings. What is that in modern day money, though? I don't know if someone wants to pull that up on one of those currency and historical currency converters. While the worthy Frenchman was absorbed in the state of the sky and the depression of the temperature, Aouda was experiencing fears from a totally different cause. Several passengers had got off at Green River and were walking up and down the platforms, and among these Aouda recognized Colonel Stamp Proctor, the same who had so grossly insulted Phileas Fogg at the San Francisco meeting. Not wishing to be recognized, the young woman drew back from the window, feeling much alarm at her discovery. She was attached to the man who, however coldly, gave her daily evidences of the most absolute devotion. She did not comprehend, perhaps, the depth of the sentiment with which her protector inspired her, which she called gratitude, but which, though she was unconscious of it, was really more than that. Her heart sank within her when she recognized the man whom Mr. Fogg desired, sooner or later, to call to account for his conduct. Chance alone, it was clear, had brought Colonel Proctor on this train, but there he was, and it was necessary, at all hazards, that Phileas Fogg should not perceive his adversary. See, once again, we have people making bad decisions. She's not going to tell Phileas Fogg about his mortal enemy on the train. Good Lord. Apparently shillings are still used in Egypt. News to me. Alrighty. What's up there, creeper? What's going on? Aouda seized a moment when Mr. Fogg was asleep to tell Fix and Passepartout whom she had seen. That Proctor on this train... Oh, no, sorry, that's the wrong one. That Proctor on this train... cried Fix. Well, reassure yourself, madam. Before he settles with Mr. Fogg, he's got to deal with me. It seems to me that I was the more insulted of the two. And besides, added Passepartout, I'll take charge of him, colonel as he is. Oh, Mr. Fix, resumed Aouda, Mr. Fogg will allow no one to avenge him. He said that he would come back to America to find this man. Should he perceive Colonel Proctor, we could not prevent a collision which might have terrible results. He must not see him. Good morning, Panda X Guy. What's going on? Good morning. Carrington SOS. Wow, that's the boy. Is your caps lock stuck? I don't know. How you doing, Panda X Guy? Panda Guy, what's going on? Mixer just announced they're shutting the platform down. What? Okay, you know what? I'm going to get back to that a little later. One second. Oh, that's the wrong one there. That would be kind of big news. One second. Mixer. Wrong button. I can't spell anything right now. Bottom. Okay, yeah, that's really weird. Wow. Okay, yeah, it is. They're joining up with Facebook Gaming. Well, that's abrupt. That is very abrupt. All right. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. They're shutting down the platform in 30 days from today. Wow. That is, yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. It's, okay, let me just, I guess we can read this out. Wow, dumping it like a hot potato. It must have, that kind of deal must have been in the works for a while, though. Because that's not the kind of thing that happens in 10 hours. Okay, from the beginning, Mixer has been about creating the most engaging and interactive live streaming experience. We set out to help streamers build great communities based on deep engagement with their audience. You've all been amazing throughout this journey. The Mixer community is focused on creating welcoming and inclusive communities, and you should be proud of what you've accomplished together. Ultimately, the success of partners and streamers on Mixer is dependent on our ability to scale the platform for them as quickly and broadly as possible. It became clear that the time needed to grow our live streaming community to scale was out of measure with the vision and experiences that Microsoft and Xbox want to deliver for gamers now. So we've decided to close the operations side of Mixer and help the community transition to a new platform. To better serve our community's needs, we're teaming up with Facebook to enable the Mixer community to transition to Facebook gaming. This is a key part of a broader effort, which has a link, that Xbox and Facebook gaming are embarking upon, bringing new experiences and opportunities to the entire world of gaming. The Facebook gaming team and creators will help expand the vision that Mixer has always held around community and building a platform that is inclusive and supportive of each other. For Mixer's streamers, this opens up the opportunity to reach the vast audience of one of the world's fastest-growing streaming platforms. Every month, more than 700 million people play a game, watch a gaming video, or interact in a gaming group on Facebook. For Facebook gaming's creators, this brings the ability to partner closely with the Xbox system, including future opportunities around Xbox Game Pass, Project xCloud, and more. Facebook Gaming is making it easy for everyone in the Mixer community to join if they choose to do so. Mixer partners will be granted partner status with Facebook Gaming, and the platform will honor and match all existing partner agreements as closely as possible. Mixer partners will receive an update from Mixer today on how to kick off the sign-up process. Streamers participating in Mixer's open monetization program will be granted eligibility for the Facebook Gaming Level Up program, where you can continue to grow and monetize your streams. Facebook Gaming will also fast-track onboarding for eligible streamers. We encourage all Mixer viewers to spend their remaining Embers and Sparks to help support your favorite Mixer partners and streamers. Mixer partners will receive double payment for all of their earnings in the month of June, so your support of Embers, Sparks, and channel subscriptions for Mixer partners will go even further during the rest of this month. Viewers with outstanding Ember balances, channel subscriptions, or Mixer Pro subscriptions will receive Xbox gift card credit as a thank you for your engagement on the platform. Details on what you can expect can be found at this FAQ. The Mixer service will continue to run through July 22nd, 2020. After that, Mixer.com will redirect to fb.gg, Facebook's desktop home for gaming video. Mixer broadcasting on Xbox One will be temporarily disabled, and the Mixer apps will notify or redirect viewers to continue watching their favorite streamers at Facebook Gaming. For more details on what this means for you, check out this FAQ. Thank you, Mixer community, for your engagement and passion on this journey. We've accomplished so much together, and we want to thank you all, partners, streamers, moderators, and viewers. And we hope to see your continued positive, welcoming, and inclusive ideals continue on at Facebook Gaming. Well, there we go. There we go. Yeah. And tell you what, okay, so yeah, that is I thought by the time that the end of the year had rolled around, something like that might happen. But yeah, okay, 30 days from now, did not expect that. Did not expect that. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was Microsoft was going to be dumping it at some point, though. Yeah. So that's yeah, okay. I suppose right now is a good time for me to plug my Twitch page. And I don't have Carrington TV over there because some chucklehead's been sitting on it for years. Alrighty, hey, so here we go. That's blah 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 blah. Man, that really that sucks. That sucks. Good Lord. Yeah, well, yeah, well, they offloaded. Well, they offloaded it to Facebook Gaming. I tell you what, I mean, like the writing was on the wall, and like I've seen the way that Microsoft. I mean, they pick up like a bunch of projects, give them a couple of years to get up to speed, and then if it ain't happening, it ain't happening, and they gotta go. I mean, like, well, I mean, their music thing, their Zune that turned into Groove. I mean, that was kind of sad when they shuttered that. But as soon as they were off of that, they tried getting into the ebook project. That lasted like 2 years. It wasn't taken off. Okay, time to go. They shut that down. And it happens. Yeah, it happens to a lot. They got their just like any tech company. They got their fingers in a lot of pies, and when it happens. It happens. Anyway, it's man, that sucks. All right. Something Zeroland, what's going on? Alrighty. Gonna have to network our behinds off, says later. Oh wow, everyone's piling on in. Hey, what's going on? Well, first of all, let me give you my my Twitch account. Which, coincidentally, by the way, I've actually been restreaming too. Not like the. I know that there's a bunch of people who've been who've been planning on moving. Anyway, that's not why I was doing it. Yeah, with the whole Rona thing happening and everyone being stuck in their houses and the like. Yeah, I just wanted to expand just some story time stuff to keep people entertained. Anyway, that's who I am over there. Play Carrington. I'm almost certainly going to change my name over there. Man, wow, this is what tell you what. I certainly picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue. Right. Anyway, Chillable Cats throwing down some embers. Thank you for that. Rose Morales, thank you for the embers. I like that. I like the double embers, double sparks thing. But that's coming in. Oh my lord, what a shitty way for a mixer to end, though. Really, especially with all the with all the garbage that's been happening over this past couple of days. It's okay, Panda Guy. We'll get through it. We will get through it. It's seriously. It's just like 6 months before I thought it was going to happen. It's okay. Oh my lord! What's that? All that talk about Facebook Gaming? Well, Facebook that's doing better than that. I can't go to Facebook Gaming. No, I can't do that. Oh, but that's where all the partnership stuff's going. All right, that sucks. All right. 2020 kicking people in the balls again, says Halo Collector. Indeed. I'm probably missing a bunch of chat here. This sucks and can suck my beehole, says Calinero. Indeed, it does suck. It does. There we go. Off to there go Twitch. I know we're gonna see how this happens. All right. Okay, man, this it's because I mean, for the most part, Mix has just been a very, very chill community. And I mean, it's yeah, but yeah, it's had a lot of issues competing. A lot of issues competing. All right. Do I have a plan? Says Zeroland. I always have. The Carrington always has a plan. Yeah. So it'll probably be off to Twitch. I can't do Facebook. Yeah. Can't do Facebook. But the thing is, I mean, Twitch is just so grossly saturated. Book club take over Twitch. I like that one. Very good. Only recently they updated the Mixer app. Oh yeah, I know. This has been planned for a while though. It's man. And I just think the events of this past weekend have really just accelerated things. I think that's what I think that's what we got there. Mix, yeah, that's right. Mix is closing down in 30 days. I'll be Luchahan. Here we go. I'm going to be over on Twitch. On Twitch, and I also I have I got a YouTube channel that I archive a bunch of stuff up to as well. I clean it up periodically. I need to get more fresh stuff up there actually. Wow. Okay. I think tonight you're gonna follow me on Twitch. Yay! I like that. Helga Maria, you got some updates from the doctor appointment. I hope you got some good news. Oh, Zerolond, thank you. You got to get rid of these embers, and it's doubled for June, so thank you very much, Zerolond. Thank you, Zerolond. You stream over on Twitch still, right? Man. All right, so for those who might have just joined us, Mix is shutting down in 30 days. Yeah. I'll get affiliate on Twitch real quick. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, boy. But yeah, it's, man. So much about Mix has been awesome, but yeah. I mean, but here's the thing. I mean, like all of the signs that it was going away were they were up there earlier, like with with Mixer being like on the Xbox Dash. Being removed from the top, the top horizontal navigation bar down, like far down the left side. Yeah, it's been, yeah. Oh boy. What is my Discord? It is, thank you, Shadowtronics. That's it right there. Bee's Knees, what's happening to Mixer? Mixer's shutting down in 30 days. It is being sold to offloaded to Facebook Gaming. Here is the information if anyone needs it. Here's the blog post that I just read. You got rid of, oh yeah, Rose got rid of yours. Thank you. Thank you. Last day of your embers. Last of your embers from the tillable cat. Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget, I mean, yeah, there are other very good streamers here on Mixer. So if you need to show them a little love too, make sure you do that. Make sure you do that. It's not just about me here on Mixer. There's going to be a lot of hurting people. A lot of hurting people. You legit just called a friend to tell him about this. He works for a game company. Ah. Man, okay. Can't believe it, says Gotham Gotcha. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think, yeah, Halo Collector, I think he just summed it up best. Halo, the year 2020 has just been a gigantic kick to the balls in every which way you could think of. It's like, oh, well. You predicted Facebook buying Mixer a long time ago. I thought they were just going to shutter it. Yeah, and I was sure it was going to happen before the end of the year. But with I just finished saying there, Gotham, with what's happened over this past weekend, and with all of that going on, and it wasn't just a Mixer either, with all the shenanigans going on at Twitch. Yeah, it just accelerated the process. But yeah, that kind of deal doesn't happen in 12 hours. No, it's not Gotham Gotcha's fault. No, that's no, I don't think it's quite that there. Well, see, Gotham Gotcha. Here's the thing, Gotham. It's not just a Mixer problem. And it's not just a streaming problem, and I'm not going to get into the whole of the other issues right now, because obviously we got bigger things on our plate for just like, when an entire platform just says fuck it. But yeah, it's not just an entertainment industry problem either. It's a very, very pervasive, insidious problem, which is it's like, police brutality. It's just like festers because nothing's ever done about it, and then people are all like, why is everyone rioting? We don't understand. We need cops. And it's like, well, you got to fix stuff. You got to get in there and fix stuff. And I'm kind of waffling a bit right now. Darkside's still on Twitch. Nice. Zerolon's got massive lag, but you are on Twitch. Yeah, so yeah, yeah. So anyway, there's, I know this past weekend has been, Mixer needs to get their shit together, to deal with these very, very problematic streamers. But that is not inherently a Mixer problem. It's not just an entertainment industry problem. It's much bigger than that, and it never gets tackled or addressed. If you have Amazon Prime, you get Twitch. Oh, yeah. Date with Divinity. Okay, Helga said your boyfriend said Mix is owned by Microsoft and is a huge money maker. It's not a huge money maker. Well, no. See, the thing. I mean, we finished talking about this too. Microsoft, like most tech companies, will. Yeah, they have their fingers in a lot of pies. They want to. Will this thing take off? Can we make this work? If so, we can make a lot of money on it. Here's X amount of millions of dollars to make this happen. And sometimes it pans out, and sometimes it don't. But they give it you got a few years to get it going. And if you can, you're a keeper. And if you can't, well, we tried. But, there's only so much time you can sink money into something. Yeah. There's SoCal. It's weird over there. Yeah, it is weird over there. It is. But yeah, so, boy, oh boy. Oh, Chazara. Thank you, Chazara. Yeah, I know. Misbehaven's going to give up streaming altogether. Why is that, Misbehaven? Halo Collective thought Microsoft is going to radically change streaming with a new... well, they're radically changing Mixer for the new console. But yeah, Facebook gaming, yeah, I think everyone knows my opinion on that. Helga says, you're going to an ultrasound. Yes. Do keep us updated there, Helga. Keep us updated. Oh, Chazara can't hear. You're just throwing the latest. Well, I do appreciate that, Chazara. Silent Running says you couldn't give a shit and it's not important. All right. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Let me back on up. Boy, okay, my chat's way behind, trying to keep up best I can. Helga's is still there and you're not going anywhere. Okay, you're over on Twitch already. There we go. If you have Amazon Prime, you get... Yeah, I don't have Amazon Prime. Yeah. There's something... Halo Collector says there's something more that's going to happen. Microsoft wants numbers, and giving up on Mixer means they've given up... They've got something big planned for the future. Oh, yeah. But it's where to prioritize it. Oh, yeah, the other thing, too, yeah. Like everyone's been jumping up and down about all the attention that Twitch has been getting for the Sea of Thieves stuff. Because yeah, all this great and like nothing was being running out on Mixer. Yeah, I mean all the signs were there. It's just that I think that the timing was off. I think the timing was off. That's that's right. Yeah, it is at the end of the day. It is about the dollars. You got 11 viewers over there already. Nice. Oh, all my stickers. Oh, man. All my stickers. Let's see. All your sparks. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for those sparks there. We will keep you in our thoughts there, Helga. Sorry, it's hard to keep up on track. But yeah, if you have access to medical care, which is that's a huge bonus. A lot of people over here don't still. So yeah, take advantage of that. Get in there. Get the docs to set you straight, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You're 5 days from being here 2 years with Mr. C. Yeah. Okay, let me, there's Helga. Added me on Twitch. There we go. I'll catch up with everyone on Twitch eventually. There we go. Tell you what, let me throw down while we're doing stuff like here. I know some people like what's my Facebook thing? I don't know. There we go. Here, I'm probably gonna have to do Facebook promotion or something stupid like that. Here is my Facebook thing for peoples to like if they like. If you do the Facebook thing, and that is me on the Facebook. As you can see, I very rarely use it. Very rarely. But yeah, I don't know. Let's I don't know. Oh, but yeah, with Mixer being handed off to Facebook Gaming. Oh boy, yeah, I'm gonna have to do some reading up. Twitch works minimized, does it? Man. Agent 1 Mixer, is your here? Is your name okay? It should be. I don't see anything wrong with it. Agent 1 Mixer. Oh, yeah. Shall we all shed a tear for Mixer? No. Oh, silent runnings. Oh boy. Cold. 12 now. All right. Your doctor's so helpful and is going to do everything to help you lose weight and get better. Yeah, losing a bit of weight will that will make you feel pretty good. Yeah, there was a period of time I put on some hefty sizes there. It took a bit of determined effort to get it back down. But tell you what, yeah, the amount it really does help improve a few things. That's for sure. Book club takes over. Twitch, yeah. Even the Penny Arcade webcomic guys are unhappy. Yeah. Thank you, Paul Quinn. Paul Quinn over on Twitch there. 2.5 years Lady Death's been hanging out. I know, it's crazy. Well, you're already a mod over on Twitch because occasionally we get a person or two show up. Let us I know Silent Runnings is definitely very cynical about a lot of things. Some things that, boy, I'm not quite sure what to think about. But yeah. But yeah, sometimes there are things we do need to be cynical about. Darkseid's life is being ruined. Oh no, how's that? Dahlia Rose is over on Twitch. Hey there, Dahlia, how you doing? You find Carrington and now Mixer's going down. That's right, going down. Going down like a sad clown. Man. Hey there, Shadowed Sly. Yeah, here we go. You have to remember your Twitch password, yeah. I'm not sure what my... Oh, Helga TV, let's have a drink and say au revoir. Boy, oh boy, we're going to be on fire tonight. Good Lord. Do we get to continue to be a crappy, very part... Of course, Dahlia. That's the best kind of mod. Yeah. Oh, man. So there's Spider joining us. Oh, boy. R.I.P. in pieces, Mixer. All right. Oh, thank you for the kind words, Shadowed Sly. So much, yeah, oh, yeah, Chris. Yeah, and everything kind of escalated. I don't know if Chris just got here, but, yeah, if you did, yes. It was the wrong one. Here we go. Copy. I need to change my bot messages. Gonna do that. Here we go. For those who do not follow me over on Twitch, that's what it's called. Play Carrington. I'm almost certainly gonna change my name over there. But that's the only thing I could get because like some chucklehead's been sitting on Carrington TV over there for years. A cheat sheet on Discord with people's Mixer name and yeah, that could be handy. Yeah, actually, you know, I should open up a. We should make a. No, we'll come up with something. Prophecy Designs over on Twitch. Hey, man, you got the same name over there. Wow, good morning, Prophecy Designs. Yeah, whoa, yeah, I don't know how those all works. Do I still get, okay, well, yes, one second. Okay, well, I'm trying to catch up best I can. Hold on. Yeah, well, yeah, I got to start working on bots and stuff like that over there, yeah. Need commands there. So many peeps had hopes for getting partnered. Yeah, I mean, they've been adding people week by week, yeah. Man. Yeah, we are. Yes, Discord is useful like that. It is. Yeah, 30 days. Can you be a Spiner AK? You can. Yeah, exclamation extension. You can pick whatever you like there, Spider. I don't know if that particular one's in there, but you can do it. Clyde is going to come on over to Twitch. Yeah, well, thank you, Clyde. There we go. Let's I'm just going to throw my thing in there. Are you going to Twitch tonight? Nice. Man, okay, catching everyone a little off guard right now, that's for sure. I'm a little sad. I'm very sad. Well, as you know, it'll get me moving again on a couple of things which I've put aside. Tell you what, that's something which has been happening during the whole Rona thing, and the whole industry being basically shut down there. I did find myself streaming more than I should have, to the detriment of things that I could have been doing. So this will be a way to refocus on a lot of things. Yeah, I will find every single silver lining that I can in this. Nothing is forever. Nothing is permanent. Yeah. I have to be analytical with everything. Belief in anything. Well, right. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to get too much into into that. There's nothing wrong with being a little, extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. I think that is true. Yeah. Like Gotham Gotcha says, the only way is up. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Alrighty. So Darkside used to stream, then your Xbox Connect killed itself. Oh, okay. Who wants to watch gameplay without being able to see the streamer? That's it is hard. It is hard to do that without a webcam. No, you might or might not have known that you can actually plug in a USB webcam into your Xbox console these days. You don't need the Kinect. Yeah. Let's see. You're gonna be still watching and lurking as usual. Very nice. Okay, I probably missed a bunch of chat. My apologies if I did. I'm just scrolling backwards real fast. There's only so far I can go back though. Yeah, this kind of sucks. I know Prophecy Designs. Prophecy Designs is you were working on a partner push right now. Yeah, working real hard the past couple of months there, building up his numbers and the like, and that's gotta suck a lot. Your PS3i, well, it probably detected it was PlayStation and killed it. I don't know. But anyway, wow, what a way to end the day. Well, I mean, I should be going right now, but I kind of don't want to go as well. What is how well does the it says, well, I'm looking at I don't know. It is a very busy chat today there, Dahlia. Very. Let me throw down my I'm gonna throw down my links to that one there. Oh, it says I gotta write a message. Man, you know, I'm not gonna like reading Twitter today, even less than yesterday. Wow. Yeah, okay. So, you know, what I will be doing is I will be getting the infos that I need from Facebook Gaming. Just because I'm curious like that. But where am I going on July 20th? Probably before that, Darkrai. Twitch. Yeah. Twitch. And I'll definitely have to rethink what I'm doing. Refocus on what I'm doing. Oh yeah, no, I'm not concerned that they're going to stiff me on that. Yeah, but yeah, you know, if boy, yeah, no, I would not be happy. Well, actually, you know, there's some. Well, yeah, I can't talk about some stuff here. But yeah, just transferring straight up from Mixer into the equivalent on Facebook Gaming. Nah. That would take some real money. I'd be like, okay, Facebook. Let's talk. Yes, that's what we're talking about, Unaided Castle. That's what we're talking about. Get a nice name. Carrington TV's already been taken over there. Someone took it like 2 days before I went to grab it. No, Dahlia, no, it's more than that. Dahlia's saying it all boils down to a few bad apples and Microsoft again killing a bad thing that they thought they could monetize. Well, but here's the thing. I mean, Microsoft, they sunk hundreds of millions of dollars into it, and like you know, like any kind of project, it needs to start earning its keep after a while, and if it doesn't, you got to cut it loose. And it's just yeah, in my opinion. It was going to happen later this year, but yeah, with what happened over the weekend, I think Microsoft they were just like, okay, it's got to go now. It's got to, yeah. Well, why? I mean, there's no point, like trying to, yes, invest in a lot of time and. Time and effort to fix the situation for a thing which for a company which is going to be gone in 6 months anyway. Yeah, Mr. Carrington. Oh well, no. I mean, yeah. The stuff that's NDA. I mean, generally, like that continues to be NDA, even when you're. I mean, it's. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'll never be able to talk about. It's very sad. It's very sad. But for those who are like, that is my temporary address over there on Mixer, Twitch. On Twitch. Good Lord. Yeah. It's all about the Benjamins at the end of the day. So yeah, we gave it a good shot. We will continue to keep that online presence. Alrighty. Do we know why? Not really, Unaided Castle, but we can kind of speculate. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, after a few years, companies need to be able to stand on their own 2 feet, and the company which has been funneling money into them for the past few years needs to start making some of it back, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I don't know what Twitch's policy is on that. Yeah, well, someone's just sitting on it. That's okay. Tallybob says poor management on Mixer's part, refusing to take care of partners and other current affairs led to it. But Twitch, yeah. Well, yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier too, Tallybob. Yeah, it's yeah, that's you know, those events over the weekend there. That's not strictly a Mixer problem. And it's not just a Twitch problem either, and it's not just an entertainment industry problem. It's far bigger than that. And you can take steps to address it in that particular area that someone's in, but it's huge. It's a huge problem. Continue to grow there. Say hi to your nan. What? When I get up there. Oh, Elite Ben, are you saying I'm old? What? You'll be old one day too, man. Twitch. Be to Twitch there, Sleeper Cylon. Although I will take a look at what FB Gaming is offering. But there we go. That is my Twitch address there, Sleeper Cylon. Hertz Als Gold. You kept Tillable Cat for now. Nice. Okay, you even got it with the capitals. Nice. That is true. That is true. I have a very sexy voice. People pay good money to listen to it. Probably best to grind Twitch right away, maybe. Tallybob says, Mixer turned a blind eye to events in the past from rumors. Yeah, well, this is the thing, though. That's exactly what you call them, rumors. Rumors. Yeah. Let's get Carrington to read Lord of the Rings right now. No, cannot do. Cannot do. Actually, my show is normally over, but, yeah. We're going to get... Oh, well, if Facebook gives me an offer that I can't refuse, then that'd be one thing. Yeah. But anyway, there we go. So, yeah, we read... we got pretty far. Where are we at? Oh, we stopped mid-chapter. You know what? We'll just restart. Do I have to restart that chapter? That's fine. I'll just back up a little. Chapter 28. And I'm just closing that right now because we're not headed back into it, that's for sure. Man, if the Facebook will be integrated into the new UI, that would be an interesting question there, Halo Collector. I suspect that it will be. I'm pretty sure it will be, and I say that because, yeah, like this is something that Microsoft must have been working on for a while. Yeah, because like I said, these kinds of agreements don't just happen overnight. So something's been in the works for a while, and yeah. Actually, the new console launch would have been the great time for it. Yeah, we got some. There are rumors that I am old. There are indeed rumors that I am old. Sleeper Silence says Twitch is horrible. Yes. Facebook's much worse. Yes. I don't know. There's a Facebook gaming app. Yeah, that's right, Per Wade. It says Mixer partners will be Facebook partners by default. That's what it says, with similar or equivalent agreements. Like, yeah. I would not accept something like that. Not after what, 2.5 years. No, I would no. Maybe with the merge, Facebook. No. Their entire business is about knowing your business. They're not changing their business model. Yeah. Young at heart. We're all young at heart. All young at heart. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to pimp my. Unbelievable. All right. That's my Facebook one. So, any new follows over there? I would appreciate them. That's probably where I'm going to be going to. Man. Makes me sad. It does. It does. So, yeah, I've been a partner here for just over 1 year and 1 month. Actually, 1 year and 1 month. And let's see, where do I see my follow counts over here on everything's so weird over. Oh, I'm not signed in. That's why. That's maybe that, I don't know. How does this all work? 202 followers now over on that other place. Son of a. Alrighty. Testing an avatar. Nice. Silent running is practically a cadaver themselves. All right, yeah. Oh boy, following on Twitch. Thank you for that, there, Sleeper Cylon. Facebook gaming on Xbox will be horrible. Yeah, boy. Yeah, if Facebook would have to, yeah, they would have to have a very, very attractive package to move over there. Love hearts. Does that actually show like little icons or something? Love hearts. Nice. And how's the FTL over there, by the way? I don't know how well that is. Let me go. Actually, let me go take a look. I can check that right now. 1 second. Here's my Stream Manager page over there. Stream Manager. Just waiting for it to load. 1 second. Seems to be taking a sweet old time. Oh, anyway, let me. I'm going to end my live YouTube feed. Hey guys, see you guys. Okay, that's just the YouTube one. There we go.